All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah Elohim Hashem. Asasimo Babe. I'm coming back at it. This right here is going to be a series, all right? I found this video on Rumble. I'll leave the link in the description below. This right here, let me talk into the mic. This is hilarious. I like this guy's energy. And he basically is exposing who these people are in regards to their state of mind politically, which is influencing socially. Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. The title in this video, I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna reference something to this nature. Let's just get right into it. I know when I stream from StreamYard, the volume be hella low, so I'm gonna blast this sucker right here.
I'm white. Seriously, my skin color is white.
By the way, this is fair use for the purposes of commentary, sharing information, and of course, free speech, speaking my mind freely, as we all have the right to do without slander. There's nothing criminal. In fact, this is probably entertainment because this shit right here is hilarious. We're going to be laughing a lot at this shit because the fact that these people, some of them, not all of them, the fact that they think like this, it just goes to show what type of world we live in and why there needs to be a significant change in the power structure. Let's get into it.
Well, technically like Peach, but I belong to a human group that can trace their ancestry to Europe with mostly lighter skin color. And I probably didn't have to tell you that because you can see me right now, unless you're blind. Anyway, I bring this up because you may come across some xenophobic messaging when you're doing your thing on the old internet. You all remember what xenophobia is, right?
Go back to Ireland, you dumb Mick. You remember that? He's making the food, Patty!
It's the fear of people from other countries. Now, even though this messaging is xenophobic, it's sneaky. In fact, it's terribly good at manipulating us, despite being...
All right, speaking of xenophobia, you have this culture where they're saying people from Central America, Mexico, or something like that, they're aliens. And I mean, I could get the law dictionary right now and open up alien, but I'm not interested in doing that right now because this is going to be a series. This is just an introductory video. The reason why I bring that point up is because, first of all, let me share a story real quick. I was in Sears, all right, before Sears collapsed. This was probably like 2015, 2016. Let me make sure the flag is showing in the background. You gotta make sure you find those colors. I'm not a stateless person, for the record. I am a Moor. I am an Aboriginal to the Americas. Copper-colored, descendant of copper-colored natives who were met by the Europeans. And I'm absolutely an Israelite and a descendant of the line of David. However, when I was in Sears, there was this woman, a young woman. She had a strong accent that to me sounded like she was from somewhere in West Africa, because I am familiar with Nigerians particularly and Ghanaians, you know, having both a Nigerian companions and Ghanaian companions, and hearing how their elders speak. I'm familiar with the dialect. So when I heard her speak, I was just curious because I like culture. You feel me? It doesn't matter if it's African, Europe, Asia, whatever. I love culture, so I'm always interested in learning. So I was like, hey, are you West African? You know, genuinely, right? And she was like, I am not West African, I am Liberian. Peep game. Why is that important? She wasn't no conscious sister, or she didn't have no head wrap. You dig? She ain't had no unk. She was just a regular sister, you feel me? But she was, see, the culture everywhere else in the world except for US, because the US is a poisonous culture. They teach people to identify each other by crayon colors and political fictions. That's not the culture in other places in the world. So when she said, I am not West African, I am Liberian, she was correcting me by saying, I'm not, I'm not some, I'm not identified ambiguously by the western part of Africa. I am specifically Liberian. My national or nationality, my national descent, my nativity is Liberian, either from being born or my mother and father, grandmother, etc., etc., etc. That's very specific. It's very clear. It's very simple. When you say West African, it's very ambiguous. It's like, where in West Africa? West Africa is just the western part of the continent of Africa. So I make that point to say, when you say Central America or South America, it's still America. It's just the center part, Mesoamerica. South America, same thing. It's just the southern part of America, you know? So that's something very important to get into. That's funny. So we have to make that point right there, okay? Because what people try to do is they try to steal the birthright of the people of the Americas. Matter of fact, we're going to get right into it, okay? There's something called the OAS. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. It's called the Organization of American States. All right. Now, this is similar to like a UN. Okay. The reason why I'm showing you this is because this, let me see, permanent missions, permanent representatives. This is showing you that an American state does not mean Texas. And I make that very clear. Why did I use Texas out of every other state? Because you have motherfuckers out of Texas who think Texas is some motherfucking organic land. This is an imaginary line on the on paper, all right, which previously is actually Mexico. Pause. And at the same time, the people who are making these statements, they are of European descent. They're not organic to this part of the world. They come out of the colonialism and the European settlement. So when they make these statements, they're participating, whether they know it or not, in trying to steal the birthright of the Aboriginal indigenous descendants of copper-colored natives who are either amalgamated due to the colonialism or who are not as amalgamated and still retain the copper-colored African, Asiatic, so-called Polynesian phenotype, because that's all organic to this land, at least before the European. So there's no such thing as no fucking Texas. That's a fucking company, corporation, and I speak like that because I'm dead ass serious, my nigga. There is no fucking Texas. It's a company. It's no different than a damn Kmart. It's no different than a damn Walmart. It's no different than a damn McDonald's, my nigga. It's occupying a land. The land itself ain't no damn Texas. Last time I checked, 13 Sun said Texas gonna get it. That's all I'm gonna say. So there's no future. There's no positive solution. There's nothing good coming to so-called Texas. All right, judgment is coming. That's what that is. I'm gonna leave that alone. So as you can see, some of the members of this, and I'm not trying to raise them up. These are probably mostly all sellouts. As you can see, I'm not gonna get into it. So the states, the American states. What is an American state? Dominican Republic. What is this? St. Vincent and Grenadines. I think I pronounced that wrong, but how the fuck is this motherfucker? Anyway, Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Bahamas, Bolivia, Belize, Barbados, Brazil, Canada, Chile. Canada is an American state. Did you hear that? Dominica, Costa Rica, Colombia. We're gonna name every single one. El Salvador, Ecuador, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Jamaica, Honduras, Haiti, Panama, Nicaragua, Mexico, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, Suriname, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago. Ain't no fucking United States. United States is a corporation company occupying the land. We already went through this. Go read the Pope's letter to Obama. Okay, drafted by Anna Reitz, acting attorney for Pope Francis. All right, civil orders. Go read it. I already went over it. Uruguay, Venezuela. So these are American states, not no fucking Texas. Straight up. So let's continue this video.
Full of crap, and despite it probably going against everything you value and believe, I even fell for it. And I'm supposed to be smart. By the way, I'm not that smart. I just pretend to be smart on YouTube. But anyway, a few years ago, I noticed a bunch of folks who identify as white started bringing up something called the Great Replacement. But simply, the Great Replacement theory says that too much immigration of non-white folks to countries that are mostly made up of white folks is bad. Not only that, those who promote the Great Replacement theory argue that welcoming immigration policies for non-whites are part of a plot meant to either weaken or replace the political power and culture of white people living in Western countries. When I say Western countries, it's not just Europe I'm talking about. I'm also talking about the Americas, Australia, and New Zealand. By the way, you might want to
Notice how he said the Americas. All right, notice how he said the Americas, because America is a continent. It's the entire Western Hemisphere. All right, let's look at it. Because I'm telling you, you got people of European descent, people of African descent, people of a Spanish-speaking background. You have a variety of people here in North America who lie for political reasons, calling America a country when America is not a fucking country. Just like Africa is not a fucking country. Just like Asia is not a country. These are continents. Okay? I'm not gonna get into it as far as what's a continent. I mean, you're supposed to be intelligent. You're supposed to be smart. You have gray in your hair. You have gray in your beard. I'm 29. Most of y'all are twice my age. And you still on this bullshit? It's not because you're not intelligent. You're using your intelligence deceptively because you are a colonist. I don't give a F. That's what you people are. And we're going to expose that. And it's not me. Most High's, through the prophetic times that we're in right now, is exposing y'all. No stone will be left unturned. What was done in the dark will come to the light. So that's what's going to happen. I say no more. As you can see through these images, the Western Hemisphere is the Americas. All right. It compiles the Caribbean, Central, South, and North America, as well as the Pacific Islands, as far west as Guam, Hawaii, and American Samoa. Okay. This is the Western Hemisphere. That is America. America is the largest landmass. It goes from the North Pole to the South Pole. All right, that's our birthright. And I can get into that by pulling up. Let me pull that up for y'all. It's worth it. Rex 84. Shout out to Taj 3 Bay. Shout out to Sabir Bay. Shout out to Righteous Moors. Y'all know who y'all are. Shout out to Toriano Obashengo Ale. All right. So let's pull this up real quick so we can prove to you this is our birthright. This right here is a military document. Okay, I believe it was drafted in 1969 by the Department of Justice, if I'm not mistaken. Thankfully, due to the Freedom of Information Act, a lot of private information or classified information is released to the public, right? So I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but there's a certain part that I want to go through. Okay. And you know, this is old news, by the way. All right. This is old news. Let's see if I can find it in this document. I don't know. I might have to pull up the book in because I have the book. I bought it from rvbaypublications.com. Shout out to Rosaraya, the mother of RV Bay. Yeah, it's not. This ain't it. Nah, this is not it. It's this one. You can get so much information, and she's not there to make money. She's just giving out information, and you're just paying for the cost, the printing cost. All right, so let's see if we can find this sucker. God damn it. I might have to get the book. Pardon me, y'all. King Alfred. This is also, I'm looking through my files because I got the, shout out to How to Reawakening Minds, Dr. G. You can get the flash drive with over 20 years worth of research compiled by many righteous Moors, including the Grand Sheikh, the National Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey. All right, let me go get the book. Y'all hold up. I'm gonna play the video while I go get it.
Check out my video about Western values when you get a chance. Okay? Simply put, the Great Replacement is the alleged replacement of whites by non-whites. It often overlaps with a larger theory called the white genocide conspiracy theory, which revolves around the beliefs that powerful people are trying to prevent whites from having kids. Often the conspiracy is blamed on, you guessed it, Jewish people. This theory is manipulative because it equates normal patterns of immigration with murder. It's trying to put a big equal sign between the new Salvadoran or Syrian who lives down the street and a mental image of a concentration camp. Now, obviously, if they literally did that, then you and I wouldn't fall for the...
Okay, so I hope you all are enjoying the content. The music in the background is produced by moi. So if you like the music, the beats, feel free to stream. Every stream counts. Streaming is money. So if you want to support this channel, stream some of my music and feel free to share your thoughts. So anyway, this is it. Okay, let me show y'all. Let me put this screen up. How do we do that? Right here. Okay. It's called King Alfred's Plan. You can get this off of rvbaypublications.com. All right. I believe it was 1969. The executive order was authorized October of 1969 to counteract the so-called minority, blacks, Indians, Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and poor whites in their rise from under the depression and powers that be. All right. Now we're going to go to page. We're going to go to this page right here. All right. Make sure you screenshot this sucker. And feel free to put it into Google. Feel free to type these sentences that are highlighted right there into Google so you can pull up the document yourself. It may be uploaded by a different website, and you can do your cross-reference and verify if it's true. All right, that's what we do. We give references. We don't just talk out our, straight up. So I hope you screenshot that. It says, I'm just gonna get right into it. All right. This memo is being submitted in lieu of a full report from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That report is now in preparation. There will be many cities. Got to show the Moorish flag. There will be many cities where the minority will be able to put into the street a superior number of people with a desperate and dangerous will. 1969. He will be a formidable enemy, for he is bound to the continent by heritage and knows that political asylum will not be available to him in other countries. The greatest concentration of the minority is in the deep south, the eastern seaboard, the Great Lakes region, and the West Coast. All right? You marinate on that. You ask yourself the question, what do this fake government, de facto democracy, etc., what the F are they talking about when they say he will be a formidable enemy, so-called minority, for he is bound to the continent by heritage? It didn't say North America. It didn't say United States. It didn't say the country America. It said the continent. And we just showed you the Western Hemisphere is the entire continent of the Americas. You want to prove it? Map of the Americas. The map of the Americas. It's the same thing. The Western Hemisphere. All right, let's continue, man. Let's continue.
Messaging. Therefore, the messengers have to be a little bit more subtle about it. And lately, they've gotten pretty good at manipulating us. Here's the thing, though. Not only are those who preach about the Great Replacement theory manipulating us, but as it turns out, the entire theory is bullcrap. It's literally not backed by evidence at all. There is no secret plot to get rid of white folks, but let's just say that there was. Well, they must be doing a pretty poor job, eh? Since there are more white folks now than ever before. You might be thinking, well, duh, Mr. Beat, but whites represent a smaller percentage of the proportion of the world. Well, who counts as white isn't based on genetics or even demographics. It's based on politics.
All right. See, I can stop the video right there and make an entire video just on that alone. This is why Noble Drew Ali, I will force the European to tell the truth. Pause. I love this brother right here. I don't even know him. You know why? He just told the truth. He has a good sense of humor. He's being honest. And he's telling it like it is. Genuine. Don't you feel the sincere spirit from him speaking? He doesn't have an agenda. He's just sharing information. What did he just tell you? Identify. I'm going to speak right into the effing camera. Identifying as white is not genetic. It's not scientific. It's political. So we're going to get right into that. I love that. I love it. I love it. At least somebody can tell the truth. Okay. This is the EuroCensusBureau.gov. All right. We went over this in a video before. We're going to do it again. You can say lies over and over, and eventually through hypnotic mass formation psychosis, it will be assumed to be true. So we're going to say the truth over and over and over again to hypnotize you back into reality, to break the spell of the curse of all these lies. What is race? The racial categories included in the census questionnaire generally reflect a social definition of race recognized in this country, and not an attempt to define race biologically, anthropologically, or genetically. So when you say that you're white, black, American Indian, Asian, Native American, these are not biological, these are not anthropological, and these are not genetic, which means this is not scientific. The Brother Lenin honor, all right? Brother Lenin honor, Blumenbach, Karalis Linnaeus. All right. Hopefully it can pop up. I spelled their names wrong, of course. These two people. The Brother Lenin honor mentioned how white, black, and all this stuff was created. It was created by some pseudoscientists. These were colonists. One of them is a German psychologist. The other one is a Swiss sociologist. All right. Psychology people really is rooted in mind control. These are Nazi motherfuckers. And sociologists, these are social engineers. Same type of people who try to socially engineer culture for the purposes of colonialism. Now, there's a beautiful video on this dude. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I remember I watched it years ago. It was a Moor, and he was explaining the history. If I find it, I'll do another video, but I can't find it. But look up these two guys' names, okay? Johann Blumenbach, that's the German dude. Carolus Linnaeus, that's the Swiss. Okay, they made up the terms white, black, red, yellow. And why don't you go figure out who is the white, who's the black, who's the yellow, who's the red? All right, they're the ones who did it. All right, they did it. They made it up. Not gonna get into it. Let's continue. So it is, in addition, it is recognized that the categories of the race item include racial and national origin for socio-cultural groups. This guy, he started off by saying he's a part of a social group, all right, who identifies as white. So this reflects in the what is a race section, census.gov, that when you're identifying as these constructs, you're actually participating in identifying as some social cultural group, which it's non-scientific, it's 100% political, and it's by consent. You're agreeing to it. It's identity politics. All right, so let's continue with the video, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
In the United States, for example, Irish Americans, Italian Americans, and Polish Americans weren't considered white until the early 1900s. Greek Americans weren't white until just a few decades ago. Some Arab Americans used to be considered white, but by the end of the 1900s were no longer considered white. Even though race isn't a biological reality, it has still been a way for people in power to divide us up over the years. Not only that, immigration is simply currently not high enough, nor will it.
All right, so that's enough of that video. If you want to watch the rest of it, I'll put it in the description below. This guy is great. All right, I love his spirit, at least in this video. I don't know him personally, but I know the spirit of truth. I know a genuine spirit when I feel it, and this is great. We need more people of every background, of all the nations of the earth, to be sincere and tell the fucking truth. All right, we have too many liars, especially here in North America. So thank you for creating this. Now, he said something interesting. Arabs were not considered white. Well, I already had a video talking about Mustafa Hefni, right? I might as well play it again, but I want to go back to the about race section because we need to make this clear. Okay, white, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, Middle East, or North Africa. All right, Middle East, so-called, and North Africa consist of so-called Arab people. So when they come over here and they become a U.S. citizen, they're considered white. How can we prove that? We're gonna get right into it. We're not wasting no time. We're gonna destroy this fake-ass reality and rebuild a new reality that deals with science and just natural law, not some fake pseudoscience and some colonialism crap. 913. Mustafa. And through the course of this channel, we're gonna talk about a variety of topics. This is just the beginning. I just started making content, so don't be like, oh, why are you always talking about this stuff? Beginning, man, you have no idea. Let me see if I can find this brother. I had this video pulled up. Mustafa Hefni. God damn. Here he is. All right.
A breakdown of Egypt as it.
Put this sucker loud.
My father is much darker than I am. My father. I am a black Egyptian. My father is much darker than I am. My mother is lighter than I am. In Egypt, people are identified by the religion first, not the race. So in Egypt, if you are Christian, you are a minority person. But if you're black, you're not a minority person. You are a part of the mainstream society. And I came from this background. And in Egypt, you identify as Arab and as Muslim. And in this country, when I first came, I identified myself as Arab American and Muslim first.
All right, so he said he's Arab. Remember what the dude said? How Arabs are no longer considered white? We'll see about that.
And gradually, I became to identify myself as black. I came to the U.S. in 1978, and I became U.S. citizen in 1985. When I became a U.S. resident.
All right, so he became a U.S. citizen, which means he naturalized. Naturalized. Look up what naturalized is in a law dictionary. I don't have the time to do that right now. I'm not interested. But he gave up his Egyptian citizenship, or at least it's like he transferred it, so to speak. I don't know if he gave it up. He probably has dual citizenship, but nonetheless, he became a U.S. citizen. That's essentially what he's talking about.
I was told by the immigration naturalization that I am white.
He just said it, immigration naturalization.
And I told them that I'm black, and they said, no, in this country, you are white. All Arabs in this country, all Arab immigrants are white.
All right. Okay. You heard it out the horse's mouth. I already went over this video. I'll play a little bit more, but essentially, you want to watch the video, you watch it for yourself. Essentially, this guy got upset that he was labeled as white politically because he's Arab, right? So to speak, Egyptian. But as you can see, this brother, he looks like any other so-called black man. So he felt that they were trying to divide him and cause some type of racial division by calling him so-called white. So he sued on the grounds of, I want to be called black. And from him doing that, not knowing the politics, he exposed how fucking ridiculous this system is. You want to watch it, go watch it for yourself. We're going to wrap this video up right here. This is a lot longer than I want it to be. So this is what I want to show you who these people are. When was the KKK founded? Let's find out. When was the KKK founded?
Ku Klux Klan was founded on December 24th, 1865 in Pulaski.
All right, Tennessee. So that means hell got to come to Tennessee. Wherever these motherfuckers are, fire and brimstone got to eat them up. So this shit right here, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Tashriq Bey talks about how because of their origin right here, the purpose of it was to terrorize the Aboriginal peoples so that they can steal the land. They're basically a militia group, and they're rooted in Christianity, right? So they're Christians. So all you people who are Christian, yeah, this is your brothers. I don't give a damn if you say I don't believe in them. These are your brothers. You better stand with them because you guys believe in the same Caesar Borgia, so-called white Jesus. Same pagans, same devils. Look at these devils. All right, so KKK is absolutely a part of them. All right, nonetheless, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. Now, here are some more colonists who are the same. There's many colonists. I don't have time to get into so many, but these are also colonists. All right, as you can see, he's doing the Nazi thing, right? These people right here, they're all the same colonists. All right, they're not white. This is a political statement, and as you can see, that looks like a crusade, right? So these people are descendants. Crusader Wars. Let me see who were the Crusaders against. All right, the Crusaders were against the Mohammedans. They call them Muslims. Between 1095 AD and 1291. This is between the time when Moors were ruling. So these people, these Crusaders, all right, some of them, I mean, it was a diverse group. It wasn't just so-called white European, but because it was a political based war. Religion is politics. That's why they say don't discuss religion or politics at the dinner table. It's the same thing. Religion influences politics. So these people went to war against the Mohammedans, and the Mohammedans, the Muslims were African descent. All right, let me show you something. Jamie Foxx, Arab. All right, there's a good picture of it. Robin Hood. Okay, there we go. All right, take a good look at this picture. Okay, that's Jamie Foxx, and he's playing an Arab in the movie Robin Hood. So this is who the Crusaders were fighting against. Of course, there was a diversity of phenotype in both groups. It was a political based, it wasn't a skin based war. But essentially, this is what it was. Okay. So just need to make that very clear. So these are all colonists, every single one of them. Every single one of them is a colonist. Every single one of them is they're against the Aboriginal people. So that means they are the enemies. These people are the enemies of not only Aboriginals of the Americas, but of Aboriginals all over the planet. All right. They just so happen to be here in North America. So you must keep this in mind if you're not aware. If you share any of the ideologies of these people, okay, destruction's coming to you. I'm not no prophet. I'm not no messenger. I'm none of these things. But I'm a student of knowledge, truth, wisdom, and understanding. And from what I've learned so far, these people have a debt to pay. Let's just say that. And the debt must be paid. Let's get into it. Numbers 35, 33. Okay. This debt must be paid. Numbers 35, 33, King James Version. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but the blood of him that shed it. So these people are descendants of people who spilt innocent blood. How do we know that? How do we know that? How do we know that? There's this book. Shout out to Bill Duke. All right, there's an interview. Shout out to Toriano Obashango Ale. Bill Duke, Without Sanctuary. Yes. Fair use. Please don't try and strike me for using your video, Vlad. I'm just trying to share information. Okay.
When you hear Kanye West say,
Apologize about that.
I think it's a combination of anger and sadness. And then is to put us alive of lynchings and
All right, here we go. You ready?
one of the most profoundly disturbing books I've ever seen in my life.
All right, peep game. All right. Toriano Obashango Ale shared this interview. I saw it, and Bill Duke is being interviewed, and he's speaking about a book that he came across. And the book, I already got it pulled up. It's called Without Sanctuary. If you want to buy this book, $300. You see, that's what the devil does. The devil tries to price people out of certain material. I'm sure I can find it for free, but I want the hard copy. That's how I am. I want the hard copy. This is the book. It's called Without Sanctuary. Listen to what Bill Duke says about this book.
Pictorial history of lynchings and what used to call nigger barbecues. I'm talking about children, women, male adults, lynched. And then is to put us alive on spits with a fire beneath it and turn us and roast us until we dehydrate. And they pick up pieces of the bodies, and hundreds of whites will be standing and taking pictures with a body piece in.
All right. You want to watch the full interview? Shout out to Vlad TV. It's on YouTube. Please don't strike me, Vlad. I'm just trying to share content. All right. So that's that. All right. We're not going to say nothing more. We're going to say less. So these people have a debt to pay. Okay. We must make that very clear. They have a huge debt to pay. This guy right here, he has a pretty cool interview speaking about it. He's the co-author and editor of it. All right. I don't really feel like playing it, but he speaks on it. Is he genuine? Maybe. I don't really care to get into that, but it's a real book, man. All right. They documented the terrorism that they committed against the Aboriginal peoples. All right. And there's this is like, you know, watching a sporting event where you have a bunch of people, you know, and as you can see, these are some of these people are some of those. Where they at? I think I deleted it. Oh, it's right. Okay. So these people are more than likely descendants of these people, right? Yeah. I don't know if it's hard for you to see these images, but yeah. See, they got dogs. Who loves dogs, huh? Who's the dog's man's best friend? Kind of man, not man, but kind of man. Certainly not spirit man. So these are your these are the fathers, okay, of these people. More than likely, I can't prove it, but it's my opinion. For the record, it's just my opinion. So, having said that, I'm gonna end this video. Got things to do. Okay. One more thing I want to put is shout out to Big Levi. He shared a quote on from the book of Job. Okay. Yes, these people have a big debt to pay. All right, they have a big debt, and the debt has to be paid in blood. All right, eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. Okay, that's just what that is. It is what it is. You can say what you want. It has to be paid. All right, they spilt a lot of innocent blood. It's not like they hunted down people who committed murders. We already know that there's a bunch of people who were unjustly executed. They were just murdered out of prejudice and all types of stuff. We already know this is the history of these people. And we know that in Texas, which is why Texas is gonna get it, saith the messenger, 13th son, and messenger means angel. Texas involuntary what is it? All right, this is what they're doing in Texas for you motherfuckers out there thinking you're gonna have some free states succession and gold and silver. Yeah, all right, we'll see about that. We'll see what the Most High says about that. Involuntary relocation. All right, they're trying to in the schools of Texas, they're trying to teach the children there's no such thing as slavery. It was involuntary relocation. So we're gonna leave that alone. We're not gonna get into that. All right, we're just showing you, you know, why there must be righteous judgment. So this brother Big Levi, he shared a beautiful quote. I'm gonna find it. Job 36:32. He fills his hands with lightning and commands it to strike its mark. He fills. Who does that? Zeus, Shango, Oya. He fills his hands with lightning and commands it to strike its mark. The Most High does that. Why did he share this? All right, because you have an increase of people being electrocuted by lightning and struck dead. The book of Job, yeah, the book of Job tells you that lightning is commanded to strike. It's no different than a missile. It's commanded to strike its mark, to strike its target by the Most Highs. These people are going to pay for what they did, and they're not going to get around it. And everyone else who participates in injustice are going to pay for what they do too. Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful natural law, righteous judgment. One last thing I want to share. Let me share the screen here. All right. Blanqueamiento and injustice anywhere is a threat to the faith. And this is Martin Luther King. All right. So Martin Luther King, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Pause. Let that marinate. So if you are going along with injustice, turning the other cheek to injustice anywhere, your justice, when you're done wrong, will be threatened. So keep it up and act like, oh, what happened to these people ain't got nothing to do with me. We'll see what happens when stuff happens to you. Blanqueamiento. Shout out to Aboriginal TV. He gets into this. Shout out to Sister Deborah from Redirecting and her consort, Watchman Reports. Beautiful Israelite couple and dynasty. Branqueamento, or whitening, is a social, political, and economic practice used in many post-colonial countries in the Americas and Oceania to improve the race towards a supposed ideal of whiteness. All right, so Branqueamento is, they're going to show me bullshit. Branqueamento is basically your whitewashing, all right? When they take images of the Messiah and paint him to be some pale-skinned Caesar Borgia, that's Branqueamento. When they talk about the Aboriginals of Americas and they give you images of pale people, that's Branqueamento. When they, genocide dark-skinned people from a land and then they replace the land like they did in Argentina, And Argentina is a Spanish-speaking country, right? Blanqueamiento is a Spanish word. So this comes out of the Spanish Inquisition, 1492. Who was the Spanish Inquisition against? Motherfuckers, man. Y'all done. Who was the Spanish Inquisition against? Jews and Muslims. There's no such thing as a Jew. Spanish Jew, Moreno. All right, a Moreno is a Spanish Jew. Moreno is a Spanish word. What does Moreno mean? Why don't you go look it up? We already got into Sephardim. And who's the Sephardim? The swarthy Jews of Spain and Portugal, Iberia? As distinguished from the Germanic, Polish so-called Jews? Yo, y'all people gonna pay, man. You gonna pay. When you Branqueamento is, Jews are the pale-skinned people, when it's really the dark-skinned people. That's Branqueamento. The pale are the ones who adopted into it. All right, so these are your Aboriginals of Argentina. How come you don't know that? How come you don't know these are real people from that land? You know these people are gonna pay, right? You know that, right? Everyone who has participated. Look at these innocent children, my nigga. That shit hurts my heart when I see this, my nigga. And it's not no Afro Argentina. No such thing as Afro. They always want to, anything that looks dark skinned, they want to put Afro. It ain't Afro, it's Aboriginal. Look at these children. They're Aboriginal to that part of the land. Look how innocent they look. That hurts my heart. So y'all people gonna pay. All right? I don't give a fuck. I don't. You gonna pay. All the destruction that's coming to this planet it's going to be targeted. It's going to be very precise, very specific. I think I saw something where Russia is going to take over so-called Alaska. China going to take over California, or already did. Iran and Afghanistan, it retained a lot of military equipment due to your treasonous so-called president. And I'm pretty sure Iran and Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure they will have no problem teaming up. Didn't Noble Drew Ali say something about the, you know, your brothers from the East will come? You're done. Just make that very clear. You're done. Your time is up. All you descendants of colonists and you boule sellout Negropeans, you're done. All you people who practice Blanqueamiento, you're done. There's one last thing I wanted to share. It just escaped me. It'll come back to me, and if it does, I'll probably put in a part 2. But you're done. You people are done. I love the judgment that's coming. I love it, because it's time for you people to pay for what you did. This is what I wanted to share. Okay. You have caused poverty all over the world due to this colonialism. Oh, let me end it off right there. The first will be last. All right. So that's Mark. Okay. Every time I want to finish the video, stuff keeps beaming into my head. All right. So this is the Star Spangled Banner. This ain't no American flag, because it does not represent the American continent. We already got into it. It represents the Service Corporation, United States. All right. And this flag is only operative if it's flying with the Moorish flag. Okay. Because this represents commerce and peace, amity, and commerce. All right. It's a trading banner. This is a corporation. It's not America. Well, I'll make a whole separate video on that. All right. So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. 2016. Trump, Pence. Trump, Pitt. The last Trump, Pitt. Trump, Pence. 2016 election. Oh no, that's just playing with words. So the last shall be first, the first shall be last. Shout out to Big Judah. Okay, you're gonna be the tail. All you first world countries, all you people who benefited from the colonialism, you're going to be the last. And the people who were in poverty, stricken poverty, will become the first. Because the only reason why we became in poverty, places like Haiti, countries within Africa, Southeast Asia, etc. The reason why poverty became stricken there is because of these colonial operations. Okay. And the last one, but not least, those who exalt themselves will be humbled. I don't want no New International Version, nigga. Fuck your New International Version. Give me that King James. King James. Matthew chapter 23. Man, the book of Matthew is heavy, my nigga. That shit is heavy. And so whoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So these people, where they at? Where these motherfuckers at? These people have exalted themselves with so much pride, and they're not the only ones. Okay, I'm just picking on them right now. You have Negropeans too. Okay, you got all these other groups of people, but I'm talking about them right now. Okay, I'll make a separate video for others, because it's not personal. I don't have nothing personal against nobody. I really don't give a fuck. Life is good over here. 13. But these people have exalted themselves with their pride, and they will be humbled. Okay, they will. That's all there is to it. They will be humbled. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah Elohim, Hashem 13.